The Salmson S4E, one of the longest production runs by the French company Société des Moteurs Salmson. The Salmson S4E was a variation of the company's original S4 line produced from 1929 to 1932, with various upgrades made to give it a more luxurious feel compared to its competitors. But to understand more about the S4E's placement amongst competitors, we must first look at how the Salmson brand came to be. Salmson started out as a pump manufacturer established by Emile Salmson in 1890. Originally manufacturing for military and railway purposes, the company eventually turned to petrol motors and lifts and then aircraft engines. World War I saw Salmson build their first complete airplanes, which saw use in combat by both the French and Americans. After the war, Salmson started toying with branching out from its current product range. And what better way to take your expertise in building airplanes to building cars? Since Salmson originally had no experience in car design, the company started off with acquiring a license to build the British GN cycle car. These cars were displayed at the 1919 Paris Salon and garnered enough success for Salmson to spin off its car business as a separate company in 1922. Named Société des Moteurs Salmson. Salmson's first original car was that of its own cycle car produced in 1920, simply called the AL. Engineer Emile Petit designed the engines in these cars, which consisted of 4 cylinders and a unique valve gear utilizing a single pushrod to open the exhaust and the intake valves. In 1921, Salmson also produced its first twin overhead cam engine, which was to be used starting with its D-type cars in 1922. The Salmson S4 series was introduced with the C model in 1932. Placing itself amongst the executive cars of the time, this series would continue to move up classes as power increased and its technology became more sophisticated. Originally starting out with a 4-cylinder 1,465 cubic centimeter engine, by the end of production, these engines had been boosted to 2,313 cc. Technical innovations introduced throughout this series' lifetime include Kotal electromechanical gearboxes, independent front suspension with torque bars, and hydraulically controlled brake circuits. The Salmson S4E had all of these options, along with a twin overhead camshaft and hemispherical cylinder heads. This model, introduced in 1937, was briefly halted during World War II as manufacturing efforts shifted focus for Salmson, but eventually returned until its end in 1951. Salmson would not produce cars long after that, with its last car, a Salmson S461, rolling off the production line in 1952. During that time, the state of the French economy was poor, with inflation running rampant. The bank that supported Salmson pulled its support from the car manufacturing firm, eventually forcing it to close its doors. However, the Salmson name lives on, as its original manufacturing firm still produces pumps today. The cars also live on as multiple car clubs throughout the world get together to celebrate Salmsons and share their love of these fascinating vehicles. Our 1951 Salmson S4E is a magnificent example of the high standards that Salmson had for its cars. With most of the advanced technical features of the S4s at the time, including the optional Kotal electromechanical gearbox, this car rides as smooth as a modern car today. To get a further look into our 1951 Salmson S4E and the other cars in our collection, come by and check out the Tampa Bay Automobile Museum in person or online. Our collection consists of over 80 cars, each with unique technical innovations. With our membership program coming early next year, there is definitely plenty to learn about. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos such as these, and thank you for watching.